Hi there, welcome to Math 171. While this is a hybrid course and we will be meeting either Monday or Wednesdays this semester, I thought that since the course is going to be open now for a few days before we actually meet in person, I thought it might would be a good idea for me just to go ahead and give you an overall layout of the course, how it's run, how it's designed, go through the syllabus, and so then that way on the first day I can answer any questions that you may have in regards to how the course is set up and run. I'm holding you accountable for all of everything that's said here in this video because, like I said, I'd like to, on our first class meeting, answer any questions that you may have and then move straight into the course content. We have a limited amount of time that we'll meet each week. I'll get to meet with half of you on Monday and half of you on Wednesday. And so with that said, it's best to utilize our time wisely. And I think that being able to go straight away into the course content will be most beneficial for us. Later on, I would think by Friday evening, Saturday morning at the latest, I will go ahead and send out exactly how the course will be. You as a student will be split up in the class. It will be done alphabetically, but students are continuing to enroll at this point, and so I'm going to give it as long as I can before I split the class so that I don't end up with one day being a lot larger than the other day, for example. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into how the course itself is laid out. Each week, I will be sending you an announcement at the top of the week that will tell you exactly what we'll be covering in class, what you should be working on, what is due for that particular week. I'll do this here in your Math 171 course as well as in your Math 071 class. These are two different courses. They run together, but you will get at the end of the semester two separate grades. So it's important that you work in both courses. And I've already, we can address any of those kind of questions that you have on the first day. Please ask and let me know so that we clear up everything. So like I was saying, each week I'll send you an announcement and it will detail, what's going on for that particular week. I will let you read these here that are already here at your leisure. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on enrollment verification. After you finish this video, you've gone through the syllabus, go ahead straight away in here into the enrollment verification and get this completed. You'll notice that you have an enrollment verification here in this course as well as in your Math 071 course. You have to complete both of these enrollment verifications in order to stay enrolled in both classes, and you can't be enrolled in one and not the other, so you have to be in both classes. They go together. But if you'll notice here, I have put here at the top that if you will complete both of these enrollment verifications for 171 and your 071 by this particular date, I'm going to give you extra credit in both of your classes. So please take advantage of that opportunity there. And it's a real quick syllabus quiz, and I'm going to go over the syllabus here with you in just a few moments in this video. And actually, I think that's exactly where I'm going to go next. I'll click on Course Syllabus. You will click on this document, which will land you here. Click up here at the top. So at the top, you can see that here's the course. I'm Deidre Wood, your instructor. We will meet in person on Monday or Wednesday, depending on your assignment. Again, that will be emailed out to you. We meet from 8 to 9:50 a.m. in S606. I have office hours immediately following your class on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 11. Okay, so if you ever, you feel like you're struggling with something right at the end of class or during class, then you can just say, oh well, if you've got the time, stick around and come back to my office and we can go through it together. I also am offering virtual office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 9:30, and of course I'm available at other times as well if you'll just reach out to me and we can set up a virtual appointment. And those are very straightforward. I just send you a link. We don't have to have any kind of, basically the only thing we need is a microphone. We need to be able to talk to one another. That's helpful. It can be done through typing, but I think it's most beneficial if we can talk with one another. And we actually with Collaborate have the ability that you could use your phone as a microphone if you don't have one built into your computer, a microphone built into your computer. I'm providing you with my email address as well as my phone number to my office. Email is the best way to communicate with me since I will only be in the office on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'll check my voicemail as well, but I will say that email is you'll get the quickest response from me via email. Um, I'm going to scoot on down to the course description. This course is designed, I recognize that some of you, this may maybe be your one and only math class that you need, but there are others of you that are planning to go on to take trig after this and perhaps even calculus. And so just so you know, this course is designed for both types of students, students that this is their last math class, as well as for those advancing on to take calculus. I'm going to let you read the types of things that we'll be discussing in this course, but essentially we're looking at equations, inequality. We'll be analyzing different types of functions, as you can see here: absolute value, radical, polynomial, rational, exponential, and then we'll end the semester with logarithmic functions. Um, you will need a TI 83 or 84 calculator. If it has the 83 plus or 84 plus calculator, then that's fine as well. But you definitely need access to one of those types of calculators in order to be successful in this course. I'm going to let you read through the student learning outcomes. Required materials, you need an online access code. But by you registering for this course, you were given what is referred to as inclusive access. So therefore, this is not something that you have to buy extra. I will show you more about that here in a few moments in the course itself. But you should have already been emailed the code that would allow you access to MyLab Math online. That is where you will be doing your homework as well as taking your tests. Okay, so you need that MyLab Math online access code. Again, you've already paid for it. It's not something you have to buy extra. I'll give you the code if you haven't received the code. I have a code that I can give you as well. It should be the same one that you've already received. Okay. And I should also mention here, with that online access code, it comes with a copy of the ebook. So unless you want a physical copy of the textbook, then you don't need to buy the textbook, okay, because you have access to the textbook through your MyLab Math online access code, okay. The textbook, though, if you would prefer to purchase a hard copy, I've listed that here for you just below. Masks are required in class in all of the buildings, so just be sure that you comply with that. If I need to, I'll just remind you to pull it up and put it on. We need to be in compliance with that. Attendance, I will mark attendance at the end at every class meeting. You have to complete that enrollment verification again by Wednesday, January 20th. And again, if you complete both of those for Math 171 and Math 071 by the date prior, I think I had listed in your, we'll go back there real quick. In your enrollment verification, if you get it done by the 13th, then I'm offering, like I said, again, that extra credit. All right. Attendance is imperative for you to be successful in the course. It will be taken at each class, as I mentioned. If you at any point choose to withdraw from this class, you will also be withdrawn from your Math 071 class. That's referred to as the co-requisite course. You should be in attendance 80% of class time. If you exceed this amount, you may be administratively withdrawn by me from this course as well as your Math 071 course. Just below that, if you miss class, please understand this statement. If you're unable to come to class for whatever reason, you've missed information, undoubtedly, okay? You can check Blackboard for your materials. You can call me, email me, call another student, email another student to get caught up with the course. It's your responsibility to keep up with any information or changes that arise during your absence, okay? Online homework. You will have online weekly homework. You are given unlimited attempts at this homework, okay? You'll be doing it, like I said, in MyLab Math platform. I'll show you that here in a few moments. All homework is always going to be due by 11:59 p.m. on their indicated due dates. I've made all of your online homework assignments due Sundays at midnight, okay? 11:59 p.m. essentially. I don't accept late homework. Most weeks you're going to have 2 to 3 homework assignments. I will average those 2 to 3 homework assignments to give you one overall weekly homework grade, okay? And then Blackboard is set up to automatically drop your 2 lowest weekly homework grades. So essentially, a semester runs for 16 weeks. So you're going to end up having about 15 to 16 homework grades. Blackboard is going to be set up to drop 2 of those, okay? Because like I said, I'm averaging, like like let's say for one week you might have section 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 due. I'm going to take those 3 grades, average them, and give you one homework grade for that particular unit, for that particular week, okay? Unit tests will also be taken in MyLab Math. You have 4 unit tests. The tests are timed. You'll be given 80 minutes and 1 attempt to take each test, okay? I'll be giving you a 4-day testing window to take each test, and I'll talk more about your testing windows as we move on to our schedule here in a few moments. All tests are going to be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on their last testing, on the last day of the testing window. No makeup test. So if you have an issue with the testing window, you need to see me ahead of time so that you can make arrangements to alter the testing window for you. If you miss a test, you get a 0. Okay, so be proactive if you see that you're going to have a problem with the testing window. You will have a final exam. It counts as 20% of your final grade. It is cumulative. Will be taking your final exam in MyLab Math as well. Failure to take that would also give you a 0 for that portion of the grade. But be advised, this is sort of like your safety net here. If you perhaps missed a chapter test, you didn't reach out to me during the testing window, and you forgot to take it. You got a 0 on that particular test. If you missed the test during the semester, the score on your final exam will be counted as that test score. If you take all of your tests and score poorly on just one of them, I will use your final exam score to replace your lowest test grade. Your final exam can only replace one test score, and that would be your lowest test score. So essentially, if you miss a test, you get a 0 on it. Then when you take your final, let's say your final, you get a 72 on it, then that 0 becomes a 72. So you get your 72 for the final exam and the 72 for the missed test. And like I was just saying, if you come in and you take all of your tests in MyLab Math, and maybe you just goof up on one of them. Maybe you get a 60. Whenever you take your final exam, and let's say you get an 85, I'm going to replace that 60 with an 85. Okay. Like I said, we are using MyLab Math for everything that's graded here in this course. So your homework, your unit test, and your final exam, everything's going to be completed there in MyLab Math. There aren't any makeups or extensions during the semester, so be sure you stay up with your due dates. Grading policy, you can see there down below, homework are 35%, tests are 45%, final exam is 20%, okay? For each section, I'm going to be providing you with a blank set of notes that if you're in class, then that's what we're going to be filling in together and hopefully get through as much of that as we can. Anything that I'm not able, though, to cover in class, you'll be learning then via my online videos or other resources, okay? Additional notes here, individual private conversations. That's really not going to be that big of an issue, I don't believe, in this particular setting. As you'll see, whenever how the classroom is laid out, only one person is sitting per table, so it's not like you're in close proximity to be able to carry on conversations, during the middle of class. So I just haven't deleted that in the COVID era that we are in. But just do know, if I guess, if in the event that there is a case where a person is being disruptive or a distraction to others, then you will be asked to leave the class. Cell phones should be turned off. I know we're a really connected society. I just ask that if you do need to take a call, just quietly excuse yourself, pull a door or two behind you so we don't have to know your business, and quietly enter and exit. And just keep those to a minimum as possible. We will have a break during the middle of the class at some point, so do recognize that as well. Usually around the halfway mark of the class. And then lastly, you don't dismiss class. I do. If you ever have to leave early, it's always, very considerate of your instructor, myself, or your other instructors, just to, give me a heads up before class. You could even send me an email before class and just say, Miss Wood, I'm going to have to head out early, and I just wanted to let you know that's why I was heading out. and of course, if an emergency arises and you have to leave, then, just go ahead and quietly excuse yourself. And then you could always send me an email later and say, oh, I'm sorry that I had to leave early today. I got a call from daycare. My child got sick and I just needed to, to handle it. Just be considerate of that. And I say, in terms of, not dismissing class early myself. And that's just because I only get to see you guys for that hour and 50 minutes once a week. And so we still have to cover the entire material. And so I just really want to try to utilize the time that you have signed up for as effectively as possible, and present as much material as I possibly can. Okay. Additional information, the learning labs are available, and there's also a virtual learning lab referred to as Thinking Storm that is also available, and it's a 24/7, 365-day a year tutoring service. But if you want something more local, the math lab is available here on the downtown campus as well as on the north campus, and you can check that out on Cape Fear's website. It just should be noted, as far as a disclaimer here, that everything that I've said here in the syllabus is as considered as correct as it possibly could be here at the beginning of the semester. But you should know that the instructor myself reserves the right to acting within college principles, that I may need to adjust something without notice or obligation. Okay. Just below here are our policies for wearing masks and things like that, and it talks about excused absences due to public health emergencies. So I will let you read that at your leisure. Down below that, you'll see the COVID-19 safety procedures, and so essentially this goes through and tells you if you're symptomatic. And that means then is you have any of these symptoms, here's what you should do. Stay home, socially distance, contact your healthcare provider. And Cape Fear has a campus health hotline, and that's highlighted down here, that you will need to contact. But there's also a coronavirus health hotline here. If you've had a possible exposure, and so that they outline exactly what that is. Contact of less than 6 feet for 15 minutes or longer, who has had a possible COVID-19 symptoms, or contact of less than 6 feet for 15 minutes with an individual, with a person who has tested positive for COVID-19. Here's what you should do. You need to report your exposure to me, your instructor, as well as contact the campus health hotline. And then sort of, you'll go from there in terms of following your CDC guidelines and that sort of thing. If you haven't, it's like I said, I'm just going to let it just tells you here, if you have a negative test with symptoms, and it tells you, okay, well, what does that mean? Here's what you should do. Negative test with no symptoms, what does that mean? Here's what you should do. So it's basically telling you here, I've got that campus health hotline highlighted here. If you contact me at any point during the semester with things associated with COVID in terms of being exposed, just know that I'm going to be directing you to contact the campus health hotline. Positive test with no symptoms, here's what you would be having, and here's what you should do. Positive test with symptoms, here's what would be happening, and here's what you should do. Okay, again, in both of those cases, you're contacting the campus health hotline. Okay, and myself, to keep us all in the loop. Okay. If you have any questions about that, please feel free, anything here regarding into the syllabus, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, from here, I'm going to click on our schedule, the course schedule, and this is how we're laid out. So I've got it Monday, Wednesday. So obviously the Monday folks, I'm going to meet on January 11th. My Wednesday folks, I'm going to see you on January 13th. I had here that we'd go over the syllabus, but what I mean by going over the syllabus is that me answering any questions that might have arisen by you from looking at all this here online, as well as listening to this video. Okay. Basically, I just want, like I said at the top of the video, I want to just hit the highlights in terms of anything that you might have questions about, but I don't want to have to go through all of this again on the first day. Okay. What you should be doing here in the first few days there is doing that enrollment verification in Blackboard for both this class as well as your 071 class. Do I sound like a broken record yet about doing that enrollment verification? You got to do that. And then you have to sign up for your MyLab Math. And I'll get there in just a moment. And Sunday, the 17th, like I said, all of your assignments are always due on Sundays, but I went ahead and I highlighted this Sunday, for example. Sunday, January 17th, that will be when your first homework assignment is due in My Lab Math, and that'll be homework assignment 1.1. Wednesday, January 20th, that's the hard deadline for your enrollment verification for both classes. And then you'll notice the next week, Monday, Wednesday, and that's just January 20th. Monday is the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, and so therefore I'm not going to see my Monday folks that week. And so this is all the more reason why I want to try to get as much as I can done on our first class meeting, so that you guys that are Monday folks don't have as much to do on your own, because we're not meeting that week, my Monday class are going to have to utilize my Blackboard videos. But I do believe that we're going to be able to get through quite a bit and minimize what you have to do. 1.3, 1.4 is one section, or it's two sections, but I put it in one set of notes. So I'm hoping that at the most that you just have to do that. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through 1.1 and 1.2 on that first class meeting with you guys, so that you don't have quite as much to do on your own. And then you will see, then I have listed what's due on Sunday the 24th. You have the homework for those three sections that are due. Okay. All right. So and then I'm just going to let you, what I tried to do was highlight any times whenever we did not have class. So that's your spring break. And then I highlighted your testing windows. So you'll notice your testing windows are generally running Thursdays to Sundays, except for the one that's running right before your spring break. So I opened that one up and gave you a little bit longer, and I did a Tuesday to Sunday, just so that you would have that test complete before spring break. I think everybody would be in favor of that, as opposed to holding it out after spring break. So and then you can see I've highlighted those in green, and I think everything is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, through the end there. Um, we did the schedule, instructor contact. I'll just click on it real quick. And then here is, just some information about myself, and response time, expected 24-hour response time for emails during the week, 48 hours on the weekends. Okay. And let's see, we'll go on to coursework. I'll click on Unit 1. You'll find in this folder notes and review quizzes. In this particular, so what will happen whenever you come to class, I'm going to provide you with this blank set of notes. I'm going to provide you with a hard copy of it. We will fill these in together, and then I'm also providing you with a solution set. So I'm going to click on that and the solution key so you can see it. And then I'm also providing you with a video of myself teaching that material, so that if there ever is a reason that you aren't able to come to class, that you do have myself teaching you the material. But like I said, here's the blank set of notes. Actually, I think this is the solution key. This is the solution key. Let me pull up the blank set of notes. Close that. Blank set of notes. You will be picking this up whenever you come into class, and we will be filling them in together in class. And then for any problems that we aren't able to do while we're in class, what you can do is finish them up on your own and check yourself by the solution key that's also posted there in Blackboard for you. Okay. And it is like that for every single section, that you will have a blank set of notes, a worked out solution key, and then a video talking you through it. In the videos, I do not do every single problem. However, essentially what happens is that I'll have two problems that are basically the same. And so when we're in class, I do one together with you, and then let's say tell you, okay, now you try the next one. So on my video, then the one that's essentially the exact same, I would say pause the video and you try it on your own. Okay. So, um, it's always if you ever struggle with math, it's a good idea to maybe even watch the videos you don't necessarily have to fill them in, but maybe watch it, hear it before class, so that whenever you come to class, that you would have a little bit of like understanding about what's going to be talked about. And then perhaps I'll say it a little differently in class, or you'll already know what you have questions about before you come to class, that sort of thing. I'm going to have the whole unit up um, throughout the course. Okay, so you'll be able to work ahead as you like. Um, And then you have the schedule that tells you exactly what we're working on that week, and my announcements will tell you exactly what we're working on for that particular week. But like I said, here on our first class meeting, my goal is to get us through 1.1 and hopefully all of 1.2 as well. We'll do our best, okay? Um, and then you'll also notice in some of the videos or in some of the sections I'm providing you with calculator videos on how to do some of these things. The calculator videos are tailored to the TI 84 Plus calculator, okay? But those of you that have you should know that an 83 and an 84 calculator are very, very similar to one another. So there will be very minor differences between the two, okay? All right, so the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to click on, actually let me go back to coursework. Under coursework unit 1, the other thing that's there are called our review quizzes. These review quizzes are great places for you to study for the tests, okay? Essentially what I've done here is that I've created, it's basically like a little lab for those particular sections, 1.1 to 1.4. You can pull it up, you can work through it, and then I've got a solution key posted there for you to check yourself, okay? Excuse me. Then I'm going to click on My Lab Math. Down below, if you, like I said before, you should have been emailed the access code in order to get into My Lab Math, but if you, for whatever reason, haven't gotten that code or misplaced it, this is the code that you need, okay, this WMP and so on. That's the code that you would need. You will click directly on this link here, and that will take you directly to My Lab Math. The first time you are going to have to um, sign in utilizing that code. And then everything that you will need will be right here under homework, unit tests, and final exam. So you'll be able to click there. I don't believe we're going to see anything right now because the course isn't set to come on until the 7th, and I'm making this ahead of time. But this is where you're going to see all of your things that are due. Now, the test and the final exam aren't going to become available until they're testing Windows, but the homework, all of the homework is available to you. And then I'm going to click on the ebook. And this is where you can click on the particular section, chapter 1. You can go to section 1.1, and then you can see here's the actual ebook itself. Of course, there would be an error, but it does exist. I know it does, and so I'm not going to waste your time here in the video trying to navigate what my problem is. I'm sure it's an extension thing that I haven't done here or updated in my computer. If you have issues, I'll be happy to work with you to make sure we get you squared away. Let me go back to my main menu and see if there's anything else I want to point out to you. Let me go to your video and resource library. For any chapter, for example, so we're going to start in chapter 1, and you could go to section 1.1, for example, and you could just say select all, and it's going to pull up any videos, activities, PowerPoints, anything that is available to you. You can click find now, and then I'll scroll down here, and so you could click on any of these materials here and you would be able to see, like I said, PowerPoints, videos of someone else explaining the material. In Blackboard you have myself explaining the material, but in here in My Lab Math you have the Pearson instructors explaining the material, okay? So essentially here, like I said, in My Lab Math, this is where you'll complete your weekly homework, your unit test, as well as your final exam. Your homework, you get unlimited attempts to do the homework, okay? Your unit test and your final exam, you only get one attempt. With the homework, you get unlimited attempts. So if you get a problem wrong, just tell it that you want a similar problem, and it will kick that grade out, okay? If you ask for a similar problem and you get it right, it's going to kick that wrong question out and give you credit for the right one. So really, you should be able to get high marks on your homework, okay? And your homework's counting 35% of your grade, so that's a good sized chunk there. So be sure you take that seriously there, and don't procrastinate. Go ahead and knock it out. Don't wait till those Sundays at 11 o'clock when it's due at 11:59 to get started on it. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let me get back to the class. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk to you about. Your grades. I should note, there is a grade book there in My Lab Math. Do not go by that grade book. You want to follow the grade book here in Blackboard. Okay, that is the grade book that is official for this course. Okay, so be sure that if anytime you need to you want access to what your current grade is, then you need to click on grades in Blackboard. Okay. And then if you ever want a virtual meeting, I'm going to direct you to Collaborate, and that's where we'll be meeting. Okay. And like I said, again, if you have any questions about how the course is set up, please come armed with those questions so that we can get that tackled and get that out of the way first thing on Monday or Wednesday of next week, and then jump straight into our material. Again, hopefully between now and our class meeting, you will have watched this video and completed that enrollment verification. And then I'll see you next week. All right, let me know if you need anything. Thanks a lot. Bye.